Hey everyone, it's Jeremy with J&E Exotics. We are just going to show off some of our snakes that we have here, some of our ball pythons. This here is a male, which I purchased as a yellow belly, bright pastel lesser. You can definitely see the lesser in the patterns, very lesser. You can see the bright or fire in the head stamp there, as well as the pastel. Very pretty snake. The yellow belly, I'm still gonna have to prove out because this one isn't showing a lot of that pattern in its belly there. But super pretty snake, super cool little male. We bought him at right around 100 grams and pushing 500 now. Just gotta put him in his hide. Setting up his enclosure here. He wants to cruise around. This is a trick I use in case you are trying to clean up after your snakes and don't want them to run around. Just put their hide on the ground, let them crawl into their hide. They'll hang out there usually the whole time that you're cleaning their enclosure. I'm going to do that and then I'll bring back another one. So our next snake that we got here, this is a genetic stripe female, coming in at about 600 grams. She is a great eater. She's actually really sweet snake. Super sweetheart, doesn't hiss, very chilled out. She might have Enchi, but I don't think so. I think it's just genetic stripe. Mainly thinking possible Enchi because of the coloration. You can see the nice kind of golds that she has, and she is getting ready for a shed, so she's not showing all of the color, but that is our G-stripe female. Our next snake here, I purchased this snake as a pastel yellow belly, possible orange dream. Now, if you look at it, you probably notice he doesn't have a pastel head stamp. He does have an Enchi head stamp, where those yellow eye bands are really coming out wide. The snake is super hungry all the time, so he might strike at me. So he's got the Enchi pattern going on that head stamp big time. He's got the bands that go all the way across. See that? And what I believe is that also going on is blade or something along those lines, because you can see these patterns are all really narrow, kind of going down almost like a spider, but it's definitely not spider. Spider completely changes the head stamp. So what I think we have here is an Enchi blade, supposedly het clown. We'll prove that out. I don't think yellow belly because I don't see too much. There could be yellow belly in this, but I have some other yellow bellies that I'm gonna have to prove that out before I can say for sure. For now, I'm calling him an Enchi blade. Pretty little guy. Put him back before he gets too nippy. Here's our next snake. This one here we purchased as a spinner, which is spider and pinstripe. Albino, pretty obviously. Red eyes. And she also might have vanilla and pastel. Probably pastel. You can see her head stamp is pretty bright. Really lightened up here at the top. Super good eater. Wonderful snake. She's actually super calm, super chill. She might also be het BPI exanthic. That'll be something I'm working on getting a male so I can prove that out. And she's got a bit more to grow. She's still not quite a year old, right around the 600 gram mark. She's getting big, she eats great, so when you know it, we'll for her to a VPI female, hopefully VPI het albino, and make some really cool stuff. You can see some pattern if you look super close. There isn't a lot. This little white here. Put her under a UVB, you can see more. I'll have to do a video about that in the future. For now, spinner, albino, pastel, possibly vanilla, possibly het, VPI, AZEN. This one is one I believe to be mahogany. I don't see any indicators showing there's any other genetics going on. This snake we actually picked up from someone that basically she was abandoned. This snake and another smaller male were abandoned at someone's house. So they obviously she doesn't like snakes, so she gave her to us, gave her the other male to us. They were kept together, and they said they purchased them at the same time, which is kind of ridiculous because when you look at this snake, it's, you know, pushing 400 grams, eats really, really great, has no issues whatsoever. It's doing really awesome. The next snake, which is probably just a yellow belly, which I'll show you why. I will grab him and show you. See, there's no yellow belly in this snake possibly, but I don't think so. I think this one is just mahogany. Can you grab the other one? Looks like her brother is in deep shed. Eyes are very, very blue. You can see, if I can get him to slow down, he does like to run. You can see that little bit of a head snap. You can see it way better when he is out of shed, so we will get him shed out and I'll get you more video of him. But this snake here, I can get her whole body in frame. She came to us as an Enchi Lesser. Now, I cannot say that I see any lesser in this snake. What I see is Enchi Fire. You can tell by the head stamps here. They are very wide, blown out all the way to the back. The fire, just the color of the snake, you can see it's very bright, very light in pattern, lighter head stamp too. So what I believe here is an Enchi Fire, and probably my meanest snake. She will strike. She hasn't got me yet. She will. In fact, both my fire females have this fiery attitude, so they all go. They're pretty. Next snake here. This is our leopard het pied. This is a male, and he did not want to eat for a long time when I first got him. He was not about it. But we got him back on food. You can see he's got some chunk happening right here. He's doing pretty well. He sheds out great every time. He's a bit of an escape artist, which I don't mind. Very, very cool. Very, very pretty snake. Show you the underbelly. Could have something going on there. I don't know if leopard might do something like that with the underbellies. Super pretty, super cool. Leopard het pied. Our next snake. This guy is actually for sale. To my knowledge, he is a pastel. They told me he possibly had gravel in him, but I don't see very many markers for gravel. I don't see a head stamp, and his underbelly isn't over the top crazy. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because of the yellow blushing here on the sides if he was yellow belly or asphalt or something of that matter. But I don't have plans on breeding this guy anymore. He's a big snake, really nice blushing in his pattern. a very active snake. Run away. Could possibly. He's kind of got some enchy stuff going on with his head. He's got his bands that go all the way over his back. It very well could be a pastel enchy. That wouldn't surprise me. I don't want to breed this snake because he doesn't work with the things in my collection, and I have everything to make this and more. In fact, I have this and more in one snake, so that's ultimately at least my decision not to breed him. So he is actually for sale. I only have him up for $100. He's cruising all over the place. But yeah, he's only a $100 snake. I want him to go to someone that knows snakes and will take care of him, give him a good home. He'd be a really, really good pet snake. He's actually quite chilled out. Except for today. Today he just wants to cruise. He's trying to breed one of my females here is what's going on, because he's one of my better eaters, as you can tell by how freaking picky he is. But he doesn't want to eat. When I get him out, he just cruises like this. So I don't want to drive him crazy anymore with all my females here. So if anyone wants to purchase him, $100, 50 bucks flat rate shipping, I think is what we do on pretty much all of our animals. That's to be expected. Really cool snake. Really, really cool. And here's another thick boy. This guy is a lesser het red axanthic. It's a male. Pushing the 1700 gram mark right now, and as you can see, he's a chunky snake. Super sweet boy. When people want to come and handle snakes, this is the one I usually grab because he's super docile, super chill. Really, really good boy. And I have a het red axanthic female for him, but she's still a baby, so we got to raise her up a bit. Super handsome snake though. Can't wait to reproduce a red axanthic version of him. This boy here is our biggest snake for sure. He is over 2,000 grams. He's a male. Scillus head. See that? Scillus head, yellow belly. Now this guy, he's got these scars. You can see there. He's got a few of those scars on him. He came in as a rescue. Well, went to my friends as a rescue actually, and then he asked me if I had any interest in him. I was like, yeah, absolutely, why not? I don't have any Scillus head, so we took him. He's been doing really, really good here. We treated him for mites like we do all of our snakes when they come in. He's probably in a breeding mode as well, as you can see by him not wanting to stop moving. He's just always like this. Except for when you put him around your neck, he actually calms down. That would be our yellow belly Scillus head. This girl here is one we might be able to breed later on this year. This is our Enchi or Super Enchi, probably just one copy of the Enchi gene in this snake. I don't think there's anything else going on. Let's see from her belly. Possibly yellow belly. Wouldn't surprise me. Gravel or asphalt or something, but as far as I know, she's just Enchi. That's what we picked her up at, as is just an Enchi. Great little female. Super nice, super tame. Now she's cruising. And we hope to breed her next season. I want to wait until my females are 1,500 grams at least before they get paired. Going down the line. This one, she might snap at me, but it's okay. This is a pastel spot mouse. We picked her up, and maybe it heard that. We picked her up because she wasn't wanting to eat for her previous owner, but since she's been with us, she's been smashing rats like crazy. She eats every time I put something in there, and I haven't had any of those issues whatsoever. So I expect late 2024, I'll be able to put her to some things, get some cool babies out of her. She's floating around 600 grams right now. As long as she keeps her eating habits up, I don't think we'll have any problem with getting her up to that 1500 gram or greater mark. I'm not going to breed her until she stops eating, really. As long as she's eating, I'm gonna keep her eating because she's one of my favorites. Just her looks super pretty. So it'd be really cool to see the snake do some work for us in the future if she allows it. We don't want to overwork our snakes in any way. So if they eat, they eat. If they get up there, that's great. But if they don't, this next one, this single trait recessive, we purchased her as an orange ghost, which, let's see the orange in that head. Oh. I don't see any other genetics happening here, but I could be wrong. This is my only hypo, so I don't know if there's something else I could be looking for. The slight checkering in her belly could mean something. She does have a lot of blushing. She could be fire. She could be an orange ghost fire because of the lighter head step that she has on her, unless hypo is something that just naturally does that. I don't know. Ball pythons are something that I am just getting into. So if you have any guesses on any of our snakes, let me know. I'm always open to hearing what other people think. And now, the orange ghost female in underground. Oh, this snake is a real sweetheart here. This is our GHI Pastel, is what we purchased her as. Obviously, if you see anything that you think might be in this snake, let me know in the comments. But for now, she's the GHI Pastel and super pretty. Try and show you the blushing on the side is really, really cool. Very, very good. GHI Pastel. Remember how I said my fires are usually crazy temperament? Well, this snake tries to strike at me every once in a while too, and she's just a fire as far as I know. And this is what I'm going to be using to help prove out some of my fire stuff or my bright stuff. If bright is even an actual gene other than just a fire. You can see that lighter head stamp there as she comes out. She's got really, really pretty head. She actually does have some mild blue tint to her eyes. And yeah, she'll hiss, she'll get upset. She's getting pretty big. So you might be looking to pair her next year as well. I'll probably be putting her to the Pastel Lesser Yellow Belly Bright male that I showed at first. That's her. That's our fire. Really, really nice to it. Here is another snake with fire in it. This is a fire clown. Now, when we got this snake, Scylla didn't mention that she had a gnarly rat scar. That's why you don't leave rats with your snakes if they're too big right there. honestly, you should really supervise anytime you're feeding live rats, because you don't want that to happen. That's a gnarly scar right there, and it's right on her spine. That could have been really bad for her. But and now the snake won't touch live. She will not. So we actually breed our own rats here, and I will freshly gas them, and I'll put them in while they're still warm. She doesn't strike at them off the tongs or out of my hand or anything. She literally only will eat rats if it's set in her enclosure and she just smells it and knows that it's dead. That's the only time she goes anywhere near rats. She's not into it. One thing that fire, I've noticed, does with clown is see that head stamp there? Really funkies up that head stamp. Does some cool stuff. Also, you get this gorgeous cream color, all the blushing through the pattern. It's not a very dark snake. She does get darker towards the tail, but for the most part, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if she was het pied too. That's something I want to run her to in the future, just to see, even if we just make double hets for stuff in the future. You know, recessive genes are the coolest genes by far. Something we want to work with. So I'll put her back before she gets too. This snake, let's see here. This snake came to us at 1,200 grams, and she had been paired. And there's a reason I'm not pairing my snakes until they're at least 1,500 grams. At least. Probably I'd prefer to wait until they're preferably like 1,800 grams if possible. Because when she came to us, palpated her and I could tell that she had some babies inside of her. So what we did is, you know, we took care of her just like everything else, gave her plenty of humidity and moisture. You can see that rubbing on her nose. Well, I've noticed that when we picked her up, there was some shed, some of her scales on her face were lifted, and she's got two under her nose. I think because maybe she wasn't getting enough heat to incubate the eggs. What ended up happening is she did lay 4 eggs. 3 of them were not good. One of them looked like it was okay, but it didn't make it all the way through the incubation process. What ended up happening is it probably made it to day, I'm not sure what. We cut our eggs at 56 days, like everyone else. So that's what we planned to do. And what happened is when we cut it open, we saw very undeveloped, which looked like a super pastel spider to me, possibly calico. She is a spinner calico, is what she was sold to us as. I think she has pastel in there because she's quite blushed out, especially on her head. She's a real sweetheart though. And you know, the other thing about breeding undersized snakes is you have to think it's going to take some time before that snake will get off. You know, you have to get the eggs out, and then you're going to have some time where your snake might be difficult to get back on food. And that's exactly what this snake did. She went a very long time without eating. We finally got her to eat some smaller ASF rats, and she's been doing much better on those. She actually has some tone to her body now. Strong, very strong snake, so I know that she's got some muscle density there. We never noticed green poop, which if you notice green poop, you know that A, it's either a gut infection, or B, they are starting to use some of their fat reserves, which you don't want. You don't want that to happen. We never saw any green poop with her, so that's a plus. She's got tons of white in her sides. Partially from the spider and partially from the calico. I don't think spider would probably end down here where calico's bringing it up a bit more. And she's also got this yellow. You can see those yellow spots on the side, which I believe is to be from the pastel. But yeah, she's back on food now. We've got her up to 1,300 grams again, which is 100 grams more than we bought her, which is great. Granted, you know, 1,200 grams when you have 4 eggs in you, that's not a lot of weight for a snake like this. You really want them to be, you know, once you get them above 1,500, you want them to stay above 1,500. That's what I want anyways, because then I know my snake has got enough fat reserves to make it throughout the breeding process, to make it throughout the egg laying process, and to make it through whatever she wants to go through when she's not back on food. So don't breed your snakes undersized. Please wait. Please be patient. If you gotta wait another year, dude, it's not a big deal. It's worthwhile just to wait to keep your snake happy and healthy and keep your mental state good. Because I tell you, this snake drove me up the wall without her not eating when she needed to. So be smart. Don't do that to your snake.